get used to it.
I'm sure you would, as anything that you love doing, it would be fantastic. So what have we got on the program this afternoon?
So we've had our qualifying this morning. We had race 1 and we're getting ready for our second race this afternoon.
Okay,
and
what time's that on?
It's a great question.
About another hour.
Another hour, so 3:30ish or thereabouts, I believe.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we have our final 2 races.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I tell you what, good luck. What's your number of the car that you were racing in today?
So I'm here to support my brother. He races number car 76 in the 125 Opens.
Right. Okay, fantastic. We're going to keep an eye out for that. And
It's the bright green one that flies around the track.
Bright green, excellent. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. And what else can we tell the listeners out there about today?
Attention the paddock area. Could the driver of Group N car number 17, Christopher Thomas, please come to Clerk of Course Office. The driver of Group N car 17, Christopher Thomas, please come to Clerk of Course Office.
Oh my goodness. And we're looking at about 4 kilometre, 3.8 kilometre track.
Attention in the paddock area. Steve Lacey, can you please call Doreen Butchers? I repeat, Steve Lacey, call the race secretary please urgently.
I can't believe it's 250 kilometres an hour, but that is fantastic.
We are.
So you still would have been about 200.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the 125.
So there's a 250 national, no 250 international. They're both 250 cc's, but one runs a single piston and one runs 2 pistons, being a twin engine,
Okay.
a twin piston engine.
Not that much mechanical minded, so it's yeah, I know where the coffee and the sugar goes in a vehicle these days. Probably shouldn't say that here, should I?
Well, yeah, so the nationals are one 250 piston, but the 250 twin is 2 125 pistons, giving you just that little bit extra power.
Yeah.
But I guess some of the great things that have happened in the last couple of years is when Sydney Motorsport Park put in their lights,
Yes.
it enabled the supercars to run under lights. So that's been something new that we've been able to do over the last
Yeah.
10 months.
I think we've done the Enduro twice.
Yes.
1 hour race in a supercar was sensation. So when you were saying before about your arms and that sort of
That's right.
I did the
Production touring cars hit the track for the second time today, and got Lockie Mansell with me to talk us through any of the dramas anyone may have had and give us a rundown on who's doing what and where they're all starting.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Gary. Good afternoon once again, everybody. Second race of the weekend for the New South Wales production touring cars. And the main drama that we saw in race 1 involved Bevan Tanning. You'll remember he ended up hitting the wall at the pit lane entry of all places. Quite a weird incident, but what actually happened was there was contact between him and Stuart Follows in the Ford Fiesta coming onto the main straight, and it resulted in Bevan Tanner basically getting run out of the road on the exit of the final corner, got out into the wet grass, tried to correct it, ended up spearing across the track. Fortunately, he managed to wash off most of the steam before he hit the wall, but in fact that car was fixed and back out on the track, so a really good job by the team to get that car repaired. But the officials have had a look at that incident. They've decided that Stuart Follows didn't give Bevan Tanner enough racing room on the exit of the final corner, and he was disqualified from the results of race 1.
So he starts
Rear of grid, ironically, alongside Bevan Tanner. So they'll start alongside one another at the back of the grid out of positions 13 and 14. Running through the rest of the grid, Dimitri Agathos, our race 1 winner, he'll be on pole position. Jack Winter, who set the fastest lap of the race, will start out of grid position 2. Then we've got a couple of Mitsubishi Evo 10s on the second row of the grid in the hands of Chris Sutton and Matt Boylan. We saw that Matt Boylan was up battling it out with Dimitri Agathos in the early stages of the race, but he said that he made some changes to the car and that it got weaker rather than stronger as the race went on, which is why he seems back a bit. Anthony Sewell, the BMW M4, the Sol Class X car in the field out of position 5, then it's Robert Coulthard ahead of Liam Cade, who gets promoted to the win in Class D because of that disqualification for Stuart Follows. Daniel DeQuino next in position 8, and then it's Troy Derwent and Brett Howard rounding out the top 10. Jonathan Fishburne and Stephen Thompson in 11th and 12th, and like I said, Bevan Tanner, Stuart follows at the back of the grid. The interesting thing here, Gary, would be that because it stopped raining, the section of the track on the outside of the starting grid, which is the racing line, I'm not going to say that it's dry, but it's definitely less wet than the inside. So right now, I'd actually be wanting to start from an even number grid position on the outside. Let's see if my theory proves to be correct as the red lights come on and we get set for a race start. Lights out. Decent start for him in the BMW M4.
Yeah, Witters held on to second. He's actually moved a little bit away from Boylan. Boylan was right on his tail going through turn one. I dare say he might have just got a little bit slippery out of that corner and it's let Witter get further ahead. We'll wait and see. But Agafos really nailed that start, didn't he?
Sure did. Jack Winter driving the older model Mitsubishi Evo 9. And Jack Winter, incidentally, now working as one of the mechanics full-time at the GWR Australia race team, Garth Walton and crew, only about 10 minutes away from here at Sydney Motorsport Park, but running up in second position at the moment aboard his Evo 9.
Robert Coulthard in sixth position, followed by, I think that's Liam Cade in seventh. Then it's Derwin in eighth. Tanner's already up to ninth position, to Queen 10th. Follows in 11th, so he's following along there somewhere. There's none there, but
Bevan Tanner's driving angry in this race, Gary. I caught up with him just before the start and he said, watch out, Lockie, I've got the eyes on. I want to make up for what happened in race one.
Oh, big slide there by Chris Sutton down at turn 8. Yeah, well, he got out of the car angry. And already looks like it's that follows.
Again, they're assuming their battle for accuracy
just got ahead of him.
Yep, but now the V8 power of Tanner's Cockle will come into play heading up towards turn 9 and he moves back ahead. So this will be a classic case of cars with strengths and weaknesses in different parts of the racetrack. The predictable handling of the front wheel drive Ford Fiesta will make it a bit nicer through the corners. Straight lines and then Chris Sutton in position 4. The 4 all-wheel drive cars have pulled away from Anthony's. Just outside the top 10. Jonathan Fishburne, the VX Commodore saloon car, in terms of horsepower with the V8 engine, and then Stephen Thompson. Having a chat to Jonathan Fishburne, of course, saloon cars, Gary, they run 6-cylinder engines, normally, but
3.8 litre,
yep.
3.6, 3.8.
But Jonathan Fishburne's car, it used to be a saloon car, but they've bolted the V8 motor.
Sure, it would have been a VT when he raced it.
Yeah.
So he's upgraded to a VX as well.
Which is really just updating the tail lights and the headlights,
basically.
Not really a lot of other differences between the VT and the VX Commodore. Well, speaking of saloon cars, we're going to have the Saloon Car Nationals here at Sydney Motorsport Park, first weekend of October as part of the AMRS.
They got a big entry for that?
Entrance, I don't know that they've opened yet. I think they're opening this week, so stay tuned to that. You used to do a lot of commentary for the saloon cars back in the day.
I was talking to Sean Jamison just recently, and he's got about 6 or 7 cars that he owns. There are a couple of Falcons in there as well as these Commodores.
Yeah, multiple national champion in the saloon cars, Sean Jamison.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see who turns up. And of course, that's a week before Bathurst, so a good one to come out here and then, like I am, going straight to Bathurst to watch the grand final on TV up there afterwards.
Oh, so you're paramount like the grand final. Straight from the racetrack. Sydney Olympic.
Attention in the paddock area, can we have Group N touring cars to the dummy grid, please, for race 8? Group N touring cars to the dummy grid for race.
wins here at the ARDC Super 70 race meeting, celebrating 70 years of the Australian Racing Drivers Club and the distinguished 70 years it's made for Gary. Of course, these days the ARDC best known for running all of the motorsport operations here at Sydney Motorsport Park. For many years, of course, they were the promoter of that time.
And ran Parks race meetings as well. So, yeah, certainly been around a long, long time.
So Agathos pulling clear of the field. He's done the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 56.7, his best time so far. Not quite getting down to the times that we saw in the previous race where the top three drivers all got down into the 53, so track conditions are a little bit wetter, I think, than they were earlier on. It's been a bit of a frustrating day in terms of the weather, Gary, in that every time it looks like it might start to dry out, another shower of rain arrives and re-soaks the circuit.
I know in the lunch break we were standing over at the blend line van and we were looking at how dry, and the sun was actually starting to poke through, and then we looked down south past the drag strip and there was just a monsoon coming. Yeah, and sure enough it hit us very shortly after that. So that's the sort of conditions we're up against at the moment. It'd be frustrating from a driver's point of view. Interaction of having dry 1 minute and wet the next.
It is hard to set up for. All of the cars in production, touring cars, run all weather tyres, which are a grooved or a semi-slick tyre, so they don't change between wet and slick tyres. At the moment it's open tyre regulation, so we've got a combination. The majority of cars are on either hand hooks, the rust of a few on the MRF tyres that were previously control tyres. This category will be used as confirmed next day. They will become the exclusive tyre supplier for the New South Wales Production Touring Car Championship from the start of next year with the AO50 control tyre. It's very familiar to a lot of competitors in the improved production categories, and a tyre that's proven itself to be very versatile and very suitable for a wide range of different race cars. So, the decision's already been very well received by competitors in the New South Wales Production Touring paddock.
So at the moment it's still Agathos out in front, and he's extended that lead to 3 seconds. So he's displaced Boylan from there. It's still Sewell and Cooper, the next two, followed by Kate, follows Derwin, Tanner, Howard, DeQuino, Fishburne and Thompson. And you must say that four-wheel drive still a way to go.
Indeed it is. The man on the march at the moment is Stuart Follows. So we saw that he started this race at the back of the grid. He's moved up to 8th, but more significantly, he's now up to 2nd in Class D. Make that first in Class D just about, because Liam Cade had a massive slide coming around turn 7, around Corporate Hill, and that has allowed Stuart to the back of the VW Golf and Follows. Run up the short shoes into the final sequence of quarters and turns 9, 10 and 11, and again Liam Cade mega crossed up through there. He's drifting through the quarters in that VW Golf.
Would you say that he might be a bit worried about Follows being so close behind him at this stage? Might be pushing a bit too hard as Follows.
On that lap, but he's been able to gather it up, and like you say, I think the lead up in the GT line is a straight line compared to the Ford Fiesta, but he's definitely under pressure at the moment, that's for sure. And like I said, they're battling for honours in Class D, and the way the point system is structured in New South Wales Production Touring, class wins are very important because points are awarded not based on your outright finishing position, but based on how well you go within your class. And that's why Liam Cade is leading the championship overall, because over the course of the season his results within Class D have been better than others, as we see that Chris Sutton resuming the battle that we saw that they had in race number 1 earlier on, and in fact Chris Sutton has got ahead of that.
Last couple of laps, but I think Borland's on a bit of